Lionel Messi's comment after the World Cup final. Barcelona sets the final deadline to close the Julián Álvarez deal. Laporta, Messi is now part of the past, but now it's Yamal's time. Luis de la Fuente's comment on Messi after facing Argentina in the final. Don't forget to share your opinion with us in the comments about Argentina's performance today. And if you're a follower of Messi, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow everything new. Barcelona sets the final deadline to close the Julián Álvarez deal. The atmosphere heated up between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid's management on the sidelines of the summer transfer market after sharp remarks were exchanged between Joan Laporta, the Catalan club's president, and Miguel Angel Gil Marin, CEO of the Spanish capital club, over Barcelona's desire to sign Argentine forward Julián Álvarez. Joan Laporta's response came while he was in New York City, where he spoke to the media about the fate of the financial offer Barcelona submitted to secure the Argentine forward services, setting a deadline to close the deal or withdraw the offer entirely. Joan Laporta, Barcelona's president, affirmed in remarks to Radio Catalunya Network that he respects all opinions regarding the ongoing negotiations, but has clear information about his club's position on the deal. Laporta sets the end of July as the deadline for Barcelona's offer. Laporta said, "I respect everyone's opinion, but the only thing I know for certain is that we made an official offer, and this offer is still on the negotiating table." He added, "In the near future, at a specific time, we'll officially announce the end of the deadline for this offer." And when asked whether the date would be by the end of this July, he answered, "Yes, most likely." Gil Marin attacks Barcelona's management and mocks the negotiations. Barcelona's president's remarks came in response to the attack launched by Miguel Angel Gil Marin, Atletico Madrid's CEO, in which he accused Barcelona's management of trying to create media hype to please its fans despite knowing the deal is difficult to complete. Gil Marin said in remarks to his club's official website, "I know the environment surrounding Barcelona well, and I understand they treat the media and fans as part of their media show, so I don't feel insulted by their actions." He added, "I have a good relationship with Barcelona's president, and I clearly and directly asked him to stop talking about this deal. I confirmed to him that Julián Álvarez isn't for sale under any circumstances. And despite that, they continue with this approach to stir up media controversy. They know very well the player won't wear Barcelona's shirt next season. What I see as unacceptable is the continuation of this rhetoric in front of their fans and in front of the player himself. Barcelona's relationship with the Spanish Federation and the generational clash between Messi and Yamal." In another context, Joan Laporta took the opportunity to talk about Barcelona's notable presence in the 2026 World Cup final, praising the strong relationship linking the club with the Spanish Football Federation and La Liga. Laporta said, "The Spanish Federation and La Liga are here in the United States, and they invited us to attend the final match. They're treating us wonderfully." He added, "I feel great pride in Barcelona being represented by 8 players in the World Cup final, which is extremely important for the club and the players." Barcelona's president concluded his remarks by talking about the upcoming match between Lionel Messi and Lamine Yamal, saying, "On one hand, we have Lionel Messi, the best player in football history, who grew up and shone at Barcelona and remains a decisive player seeking to maintain his world standing. On the other hand, there's Lamine Yamal, who represents the present and the future and looks forward to leading a new generation in the world of football." Laporta, Messi is now part of the past, but now it's Yamal's time. Joan Laporta, Barcelona's president, affirmed that the current time is young star Lamine Yamal's time, noting a generational succession represented by the Catalan club's young winger on the eve of the World Cup final. Barcelona's president recalled everything Lionel Messi gave to the club's history, but explained that the moment has come for Yamal to bear the responsibility, saying at the event held by the Spanish Football Federation, "I now believe it's Lamine's time. I want this to be Lamine's time. Messi gave us years of glory, and he's part of the glorious, wonderful history of this club." The Spanish newspaper Mundo Deportivo reported that Joan Laporta was asked about the famous iconic photo showing Lionel Messi bathing infant Lamine Yamal, the shot that spread widely again coinciding with the final that brought them together. The Catalan official explained that this photo symbolizes Barcelona's ability to continue producing and developing footballers capable of creating a new historic era. Barcelona's president spoke about the origin of that photo, taken during charity work organized by the Barcelona Foundation, acknowledging that its significance took on unexpected dimensions over time. Laporta said, "We're also very proud of our foundation and that this happened. I believe it came as a result of coincidence or divine arrangement that Messi bathed Lamine. It's unbelievable. Reality exceeds fiction." Joan Laporta expressed his complete conviction that Lamine Yamal is fully ready to play the most important match of his football career, transcending symbols and slogans. The Catalan club's president stated, "Yamal is a genius and isn't affected by these events that might exceed anyone else's capacity. He's extremely brave, faces everything, and has great maturity for his age." Laporta joked with those present, saying, "I believe Yamal will sleep peacefully tonight, knowing he has a football match tomorrow that won't be at Rockefeller, but it's a bit less than that." He continued, "I believe and want tomorrow's match to be Lamine's match and for him to fully dedicate himself to it, because this is football's law. There are players who become a reference at a certain time, and now it's time for change." He continued, "La Masia is the house of dreams, just as it makes dreams a reality. With all respect to institutions and competitors, having players reach the World Cup final who were developed and trained in our home with an authentic style of understanding football and a wonderful way of becoming footballers makes me, as president, feel extremely proud." Laporta concluded his remarks by affirming his pride in what La Masia produces, especially with 9 Barcelona graduates in the World Cup final, saying, "Just thinking that La Masia produces and creates players with immense talent calls for pride. We have players like Lamine Yamal and many others like Gavi, Pau Cubarsí, and Eric Garcia, as well as players like Messi. It's a source of pride for a club like ours that both generations graduated from here." Lionel Messi's comment after the World Cup final. "The match has ended, and he's still standing on the pitch trying to process everything. A World Cup final is unlike any other match in this sport. The pressure, the emotions, the feeling that everything you worked for is summed up in 90 minutes. And he lived this day with all its details, every second of it. He wants to start with one thing. He's proud. Proud of this team with a pride he can't describe in words, no matter how hard he tries. These players fought with him in every match, gave everything they had, and never gave up at any moment, no matter how difficult the circumstances. Reaching a World Cup final is never a simple thing, and they got there through everyone's effort, not one person's effort, as some say. Scaloni deserves a special word from him. This man built something real with them that he can't forget, gave them confidence when they needed it, made them believe in each other, and created within this group a spirit he hasn't seen in any team he's played with before. What he did with them during these years will remain etched in his memory forever. He's truly lucky to have played under his leadership at this stage of his career. And the fans. He doesn't know where to start when talking about them. These people accompanied them every step, in every city, in every match, near or far. They sang for them when they won and stood with them when things were hard and criticism was everywhere. Their love for this national team is something with no equal in the entire world, and they know this well and feel it every time they step onto the pitch. Everything they did in this tournament was for them. He and his teammates gave everything they had, every drop of sweat, every moment of focus, every bit of energy left in their bodies because they wanted to give them happiness. This is what truly drives them in the moments when they feel they can't continue. Not the numbers or the personal awards, but those faces in the stands and in the streets of their country waiting for them for one thing, to make them proud. He's reached a stage in his career where he sees things completely differently. Every match has become more precious than the one before. Every moment on the pitch he lives with full awareness because he knows this journey has an end, no matter how long it lasts. He doesn't want to talk much about this now. This isn't the time, but his heart tells him this was the last time he'll live this feeling at a World Cup. And if that's the case, he's grateful for every second he lived. Grateful that he lived these moments. That he wore this shirt that means more to him than anything. That he stood with these men on the biggest stage in this sport. Football gave him much more than he dreamed of as a small child in Rosario. And he can't help but feel gratitude for everything he went through, for the beautiful days and the difficult days too, because they all shaped this journey and made him the person he is today. Thanks to his teammates who shared everything with him. Thanks to Scaloni and his entire coaching staff. Thanks to everyone who worked with them behind the scenes and whom no one saw. And thanks to Argentina, to everyone who supported them, even with a single word or a sincere prayer. He'll carry these memories with him forever, whatever comes after this. Luis de la Fuente's comment on Messi after facing Argentina in the final. There's a question one of his assistants asked him a week before this match. How many players do we dedicate to Messi? And he answered then with a sentence he thought was clever. We dedicate the whole pitch to him. Today he realized he was joking, but the answer was more accurate than he imagined. He'll speak in professional language because that's all he has after a night like this. In modern football, everything is measured, distances covered, touches, pressures, top speeds. And when you open Messi's file and look at these numbers, you won't find what explains what he does. His distances aren't the highest, his speed isn't the greatest, and his number of touches isn't exceptional. And yet, he comes out of the match having left his mark on everything that happened. This is the contradiction any coach preparing to face him confronts. You prepare for the numbers, and he plays outside them. What he saw today with his own eyes, not on a screen, is a man who reads the pitch like an open map. He knew where space would open before it opened. He wasn't responding to what was happening, but to what would happen 2 seconds later. This isn't foot speed. This is mind speed. And it doesn't decline with advancing age. And here he arrives at what occupied him throughout weeks of preparation. How do we deal with a player at 39? The logical answer was to extend the match, make it physical, and bet that the years would have their say in the final minutes. He asked his players to keep the tempo high to force him to run without the ball. They did that with discipline, and nothing changed. The man who was there in the 10th minute was the same one in the final minutes. This means his theory was wrong from the start. Messi doesn't rely on what age consumes. He relies on something else. Something he believes improves with the years rather than declines. There's another thing worth saying. Throughout the match, he never saw him raise his voice, gesture in anger, or show any tension. A final does strange things to players' nerves. He's seen this repeatedly throughout his career, but Messi seemed to be playing a friendly match. This calm on a stage of this magnitude is something he honestly envies. His players delivered what he asked of them and more. They faced this moment with character, didn't take a step back, and didn't abandon their way of playing. He's not a coach looking for excuses, and he won't do that tonight. What they achieved was built on years of work. And these young men prove they belong at this level. But the most important experience they came away with isn't tactical. It's that they stood in front of a player people will talk about 50 years from now and shared one pitch with him in the most important match possible. This is something that can't be bought or trained for. He comes out of this night with one conviction. There are limits to what planning can do, and Messi is where those limits end.